Hello, welcome to today's edition of Pegasus Test. On today's edition, we're doing the Oilfield stage of Tiger Valley's two-man match of 2019. Well, for my team, this was our last stage of the two-man match. And we had done 2 previously on this day, and for a total of 10. And for us, it was a strong finish. One of the nice things about here, when we got to this stage, the ROs here were keeping track of the squads. So when it was our squad's turn, they brought us up. They gave a very concise brief on this. And once again, they quizzed us when it was our time to shoot to make sure we understood what was going on. The description of the stage here is there were a lot of barrels out there and just a ton of metal targets with some very specific rules about them. They were painted white, and the lower extremities, basically the leg portion, for example, was painted black. Any hit on black did not count, and actually it was a 10-second penalty. And the targets, some were set to stay up, some were set to fall down. You didn't know which ones were which. And you had kind of a simulated shoot house you went into. You had a doorway and you had a firing area, which was basically a long rectangular box. And one crew member could go one way, one could go the other way, or you could move together in a team. The only thing you could not do was cross. You could move laterally like this, no problem. You just couldn't cross one behind the other or one in front of the other. That was their major rule. So our strategy was I would go through the door first and take the right. My team member would follow me and take the left. And we just worked from the outside to the middle as we had done on previous stages. And that strategy worked pretty good for us. The reason we decided to go with that is, one, we had been doing that thing and why break with what was working? And two, we had noticed other people shooting before us that there were a couple targets on the far right that were at distance that were, people were having trouble getting hits, especially the knockdown target. It was taking several hits to go down. And so it was decided, since my pistol skills are slightly better, that I would go over there and deal with the more difficult targets. When I got over there, those far targets did prove to be difficult. They took a few hits on the one that was falling down, and there was another one where basically it was head and a little bit of the shoulder sticking above a barrel. I was at the extreme range of the bay, and just the hits didn't come. I launched a lot of rounds at it. And when we did our stage walkthrough afterwards, I was right to launch a lot of rounds because you're hearing a lot of dings from your partner and from the other stages, and you could easily think you got it. But when I got down there, there was exactly one hit on it. So I'm glad I stuck with it till I was positive. We met at the middle, we decided we were good, and we booked out of there. It's overall a quick stage. We did it in 48 seconds. And there were people who did it faster. But it was a great stage and a fun stage. Go ahead, take a look. As we had mentioned in our previous video, our handheld camera had kind of given up the ghost. The memory card was full, and I'd left the extras back in at our house we were staying at. So we had to make do with our point of view cameras. So basically what I'm going to do here is just like on the last stage. I'll show you my run first, and I'll show you my team member's run second.
All right, gentlemen, do you understand the course of fire?
Yes, sir.
Go in, kill all the targets.
That's right. What are we not going to do?
Cross.
We're not going to cross over. We can move laterally, right? All right, any gear left behind, 10-second penalty. If you hit the black and it goes down, 10-second penalty. And then if every missed target,
Sounds good.
Good to go. Tom, go ahead and load, but do not make it hot.
Come on. Making sure that sight's on. You go first.
You're ready.
Ready?
Ready?
Stand by. Go.
New barrel. There you got it.
Got it?
Clear.
Good.
Clear, clear, clear. Time.
All right, you just saw my run. Now take a look at what my team member saw through his camera.
Ready?
Ready? Stand by. Go.
Blue barrel. There you got it.
Got it?
Clear.
Clear. All right, in many respects, this was just like the plate rack stage, which was the 4th stage we did on the day before. It's essentially a big drag race, but this is another case where the props make the difference. You go through an entryway, you have a room, sort of ish, it's kind of skinny, more of a hallway that you go into, and you have a designated shoot line you can't cross. It's very clearly marked. And you have to engage all the targets that you find that are mostly behind some form of cover. They're either peeking out to the side of it, they're peeking over the top. A few are exposed in the open, but not many. So it definitely requires some teamwork and being cognizant of both your hits and your partner's hits. We chose to go to the outside and work to the middle, and by the time we both got to the middle, we had gotten all the targets, we were sure of it, and we booked out of there. We did watch other teams that chose to just stay side by side and kind of like a typewriter. They went to the left, blah, 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 came over to the right. And that worked out pretty good for them too. Overall, a fun stage and another one where props really did enhance the experience. Okay, in this section, it's not related to our actual shooting of this stage. This is our friends who were shooting after us. And this shows about situational awareness because there was almost a serious accident here between somebody traveling between stages and the people shooting the stages, and it was a really close call. And from the looks of it, the driver of the ATV doesn't realize how close the call was. We hope you found our coverage of the Tiger Valley two-man match of 2019 helpful and informative. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and tune in for our next video, which will be about the gear we used.